Don't get me wrong. I love gambling here and there. I wouldn't say I have an addiction, but I do like betting on the Yankees when they're playing a bad team or if I'm just watching baseball on the weekends. When it comes to my business and specifically dropshipping, I try to be as much of a scientist as I possibly can because I do not want to be playing the lottery when I'm testing products or when I'm scaling my store. I try to break everything down into a system that I can follow. And without getting too complicated for you guys, because you guys are scared of complicated things and principles, I'm going to make this as simple as possible to get my point across in this video. And it's 6 slides. Everyone knows the rules. This is dropshipping like a scientist, the scientific method. And I structured this so it's very easy to follow along. And if you can't follow along, then good luck running a business. Okay, let's just jump right into this. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, dropshipping like a scientist, the scientific method, 6 slides, everyone knows rules. Let's get right into it. So, first things first, we need to we need to define our goal. If we don't have a goal, then we're lost from the get-go. So what's the goal? Make money. How, right? We want to buy low and sell high from the beginning. We want to be profitable on the front end. We're looking to be profitable from our ads, not from like a couple months down the road when we blast emails and SMS and get orders from there. For at least my goals right now when I'm making a dropshipping store, if you're running another type of business or building a brand, maybe you have other goals. But for 99% of people watching this video, we want to be profitable from the beginning. So what's the difference between your buying price and your selling price, right? That is your break-even cost per purchase. It is the only important metric you need to focus on. You don't even need to worry about ROAS because this goes hand in hand. You don't need to worry about CPM, CPC, CTR, none of that. They're all vanity metrics and they don't matter. The only thing that matters is CPA or CPP, cost per purchase, cost per acquisition. What does it cost you to break even on getting a new customer? That's all you need to focus on, all right? So define your goal. That should be your goal. Now let's give you guys a little example of ideally what we want when we're doing this. So we want at least 70% margins, in my opinion. So for example, if a product costs you $40 landed, you want to make $94.99 profit when you sell 1 unit. Now, there should be asterisks on this. There is. It doesn't mean we have to sell this product for $134.99 to get to that 70% margin. For example, we can sell it for $129.99 and charge $5 shipping, and you get your goal to $94.99 profit. Now, this isn't the only way to do this. You can do free shipping, but you can have quantity breaks, and you can have a higher AOV and reach your margins that way. There's a lot of ways to reach your margin goal and to raise your AOV, and this should get your guys' mind spinning on how to do that. But it doesn't just need to be product costs $40 and sell it for $134.99. For this example, your product can cost $5 and your margins are much lower, or your margins, the price you're selling it to get to 70% margins is a lot lower, or maybe your product costs $100 and you need to sell it for more. There's different ways to get to your goal of 70% margins, and this should be minimum. You can even shoot for 80, 90, and more, obviously. Okay, so now that we know what we need to pay per customer to break even, let's focus on being under that break even to make profit. So you understand what you need to pay to acquire a customer, but that's just to break even. We need to shoot below that to actually be profitable, right? It's the whole goal of keeping track of your cost per purchase, your CPA, and trying to be under that break-even point. So how do you do this? With effective advertising. Simply put, you need good ads. And advertising isn't just your ads, it's also your landing page, which we're not going to talk about that much in this video, because most importantly is your ads and your creative that you're using. So yeah, let's get right into that. Hope you guys are still listening And if you have any questions, just comment down below and I'll answer them. Or I'll make a video on it. Okay. So let's move forward. So here's some principles and some important shit that you guys need to know. Let me just go through these one by one. We do not know, as an advertiser, as a business owner, we do not know if an ad will be popular, but we know how to position in the best way to sell. So I can make in my opinion, the best ad ever. It makes sense looking at competition and coming up with my own angles. And I have a really good concept and it's great. It's picture perfect, but the target market just doesn't like it. It doesn't get engagement. It doesn't hit the algorithm. For whatever reason, it's not popular. We can't control that and we don't know that until we test. But I can confidently say that the way I structured that ad was in the best chance for it to succeed, the best chance for that ad concept to succeed and to scale, but it just didn't work. And it happens all the time, and it's okay to fail, and you have to fail. The whole goal is to minimize the percent of ads that we test that are failures. We want to minimize that and obviously test more successful ads. You do that with effective advertising. Okay, at the end of the day, we are just digital salesmen or saleswomen, same people that knock on doors, except we are knocking on iPhone screens. So the point of this is that at the end of the day, we're just salesmen. We're trying to sell. We're not trying, this leads to the next point. We're not trying to entertain. We're not doing TikTok organic looking for views. We're looking for sales. So effective advertising is not designed to be entertaining, but it can be entertaining, but its singular purpose is not to be entertaining, it's to sell. So learn how to freaking sell. And I learn how to sell every single day. I always improve my skills. I read sales books. I've done cold calling in before. I sucked at it. So maybe that's why it took me 3 years. Oh my God. The voice cracks. God, so annoying. Jeez. Maybe that's why it took me 3 years to actually succeed in dropshipping, because maybe I was just so naturally bad at sales, which I don't really think people are naturally bad. I think there's lack of skills. But anyway, learn how to sell and just apply the same principle of selling to digital marketing fundamentally. Now, there's different tricks and tips and tricks here and there, but we're just salesmen at the end of the day. So don't try too hard. Just make sure you do this. And what I'm talking about is this next slide. So when you're making your ads, you must understand that they must do at least one of these things. Ideally, all of them, but that's not always the easiest thing to do. And sometimes, you don't need all of them. For example, the last one, call to action. You don't always need a call to action. But a good ad should have a call to action, right? It's like a fundamental principle. Doesn't mean it always needs to have one. Okay, so let's go through these. So your ad must have a curiosity sparking hook that calls out your audience. Now remember, I say this a lot. If you're spending $1 on an ad, imagine that you're spending 80 cents on the hook. It is by far the most important part of the ad, because if it doesn't capture the attention of your target market, of your user, they just scroll by and boom, wasted customer, wasted customer, wasted customer. So your hook is the first thing they see or hear or combine, they see and hear at the same time, the most important part of the ad. So really focus on it. Now, your ad should appeal to your target market's own self-interest. I learned this from, I think it was Robert Collier, a great sales letter writer from I don't know, a long time ago. But when you're speaking to people, you need to spark something in them about their own self-interest that makes them want to buy. And for me, I'm thinking about some ads that I get hit with, Fear God hoodies or something. And I just have a really strong self-interest for that brand. And when I see an ad that's on sale, it immediately hits my senses of oh my gosh, some urgency to go buy their product. Now that's the power of the brand. And a lot of us don't have brands here. But you get the idea of trying to target their interest and understand your target market better than they understand themselves so you can effectively sell to them. All right. Now you have a hook, you have a product. Now, how do you show off your product in the right way? Well, you need to focus on the unique selling proposition of your product and what it actually brings to the customer. And each ad should focus on at least one. And I put here 3 max. I usually just focus on one unique selling proposition. Otherwise, you're bombarding them with so much information, which makes them question more things, which makes them have more questions when they land on your website. Like, it just complicates things. I like to just focus on one unique selling proposition. So if I'm selling like a face mask, it is going to, number one, hydrate your skin maybe throughout the night, like make it more unique. It'll hydrate your skin throughout the night, and that's your angle. That's your unique selling proposition. And it must be unique, that as in your competition isn't running the same angle, because you get yourself in a situation where you're just copying and pasting ads, and that gets no one anywhere, just copying and pasting different ad concepts. So you need to be unique. You need to stand out from your competition by maybe creating unique selling propositions by how you angle current proposition, or maybe even find a better product that can do something different than what's already out there, right? So you need to have at least one unique selling proposition, and you probably already do this without even knowing. You probably don't even know they're called USPs or unique selling propositions, but they're there. Every single product has them. And number 4, you need to show proof. So just show the product being used, show someone demonstrating it. I mean, this is exactly what UGC content is, but you need to show proof. You need to show testimonials. You need to show the before and after. Whatever results or solution you're providing, you need to show that in your ad. That's the whole point of the ad. And then we already discussed about this a little bit, but you should have a call to action. You don't need one. When you're running a Facebook ad, it's pretty easy to see your call to action when there's a big shop now button next to a headline. It pretty much does it for you. But that's it. Those are the 5 things that every ad must have, at least one of them. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so now do this 100 times until you're good at making ads. So go make 100 ads for your product and test. If you don't have momentum, make some. Test 10 ads a week, test 20 ads a week, whatever you possibly can. Just test. Until you're good at making ads. There's no way to get good at making ads besides just testing and failing and learning from your mistakes and just testing. And guys, just keep testing over again until you're good at making ads. And I still have areas to improve on making ads, and I continue to test all the time because I'm testing new concepts, I'm learning new things, and I'm applying principles that I get from reading books, from reading other books, from applying copywriting books. I just learn new skills and apply them to my business, and then I share them on here with you guys. And you guys can do the same exact thing for your store and your product and your brand. So that's it. If you guys need help, oh shoot. There we go. If you guys need help, my coaching is $16 per day. It's one-on-one coaching. There'll be a link down below. And if you don't want to do that, then at least come on the Monday calls every single Monday at 11 a.m. PST. I host a call in the Discord. I just post the Zoom link, and it's a 30-minute Q&A where people just ask me questions. Feel free to hop on, share your screen, turn your camera on, unmute yourself and talk to me. That's what I want on Mondays, and people to ask me questions. So that's always fun. And that's it, guys. And here's the last quote to end it off. Be a bad scientist. One of my mentors told me this, and it's so true. What do scientists do? They just test.